Good morning. Looking like a busy day here on the farm. Didn't expect that, but still really nice here this morning. Fairly warm. The sun's going to come out a little bit at least, and it's not windy. That's supposed to change today. Phil's hauling corn. They're getting ready to. Dad's fueling up the big tractor. He's going to go rip corn stalks. They're up on the irrigated field where we moved that rain yesterday. So he's going to get that moving. He went up and looked at it and said, it's just the top half inch that's wet. Everything else is really firm and dry underneath. I think I can go. And it's pretty sandy up there, so he's probably right. So he's going to do that. I'm going to check another field of corn stalks where I want to spread the rest of that potash out. We've got about 5 tons left on the spreader that needs to get used up, and we're going to go try and find a spot to do it. But I want to drive to the field with a pickup before we just drive the tractor there. So hopefully we can get that done, and then we're probably going to end up taking over the ripper tractor for Dad later. This was the very first field of corn that we harvested this year, way back in September, and you can kind of tell the stalks have broken down a little bit. It's been sitting here with, decomposing for a while. Oh, and look, our weeds are dying. That's from the 2,4-D, the herbicide Dad sprayed out here. So that's good. It doesn't look dry. It's not dry, but it's firm-ish. Firm enough we can spread the fertilizer. We're going to get a little mud sticking to the tires, but I don't think we're going to have any issues, really. It's really not sticking to my boots walking out here. We got so much cornstalk residue that kind of holds you up, so let's just do it. Let's just get out here and get this spread, then we can be done. It's too wet to disc it, but it's dry enough to spread the fertilizer, I think. Oh, it's dirty. Let's get this done so we can clean her up. How much we got? That's what we got. It's a little dirty. We got some lime and some dirt chunks in it from cleaning up our pile out there, and then the dirt flinging off the tires. We got done the other day, but it'll spread just fine. So this potash that's left in the spreader here would basically be our extra, our bonus, however you want to call it. It's the stuff that, had I hired somebody to spread our potash like we normally did, or what we did in the past, we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't have bought this. So yeah, it cost me a little extra money. May have negated some of my savings, not all of them. But we're getting extra bonus potash out of it, which should help our yields or decrease the amount that we need to apply in future years. So it's fine. It's all good. I might do some math after we get done here on how many acres we spread and tons of fertilizer and stuff, and try and give you an idea how much money I think we saved buying this spreader this year. At least a rough idea, but it's pretty significant. All right, well, it's a little muddy, but we'll make it. Be fine. We got lots of corn stalks. We're just going to get this used up. So this field is not one that called for a potash application, and it didn't because we did not spread chicken litter on this field last year. This was the field that we had double crop beans in a year ago. It was too late to get chicken litter spread, so we just had them spread the commercial fertilizer. Basically, we put potash on here last year that we needed, and so we put enough on for 2 years. So theoretically, we don't really need this potash on here, but potash is pretty tightly bound to the soil and does not wash away or leach out, or we're not going to lose it. And I've been curious about putting on potash ahead of a bean crop instead of just ahead of corn crop to see if that wouldn't benefit our beans a little bit. So I figured this was a good place to use it up. We're at a fairly low rate, but it's a good spot to test it. Yeah, it's definitely a little greasy out here. Notice it more on the turns than going through the field. I'm not, we're making an imprint, not a track. But yeah, spreading it out, doing good. About 8,000 pounds left on there. Yeah, something like that. Not quite. Should get most of this field, but I don't know if we'll have enough to do the whole field, which is fine. I like test trips. My camera is all plugged or covered up. I can't really see, and we're getting down towards the end, so I want to get out and just check things one and clean that lens off so I can see better. Yeah, we got a little mud. It'll be okay. Oh, I should have shut the spinners off. Nothing's still flowing out just fine. But yeah, you can see it's getting coated in fertilizer. That's better. Now I can see. A big reason why I want to get this done is because I think I can get it washed today. Get the power washer out when we get back and start rinsing the fertilizer off, but we had to get it empty to do that. Well, we got one, maybe a pass and a half left, and look at that. Our belt just ran empty. Perfect. Perfect. So I'm going to get out and go in there and just make sure nothing's stuck up on the sides and push everything down, and we'll drive back up towards the road and get out of here. It's not too bad, just a little bit stuck like there where it got wet the other day when we were out, so. Try and kick it down on the belt, and we'll let her spin for a while on the way back up, and should clean it right out. Alright, well, we made it back here. I'm going to start off with the hose out back here and get the heavy fertilizer and residue and stuff off. And then we'll pull it around in front of the shop and get the power washer out. Some totals for the year here, because this rate controller has a lifetime totals, and well, we started this year with it, so everything that's on it is from this year. We spread 3,143 acres, basically. 1,347,051 pounds, and it took us 32 hours and 20 minutes of actual spread time. So now a lot of that weight obviously was in the lime and the gypsum. Those added up a lot faster than the fertilizer, but we put a lot through this. And that 3,100 acres, I don't know exactly what the retailers around here charge for custom application, but it's got to be close to $7 an acre or more, depending on variable rate, multi-product, all of that kind of stuff. And so if you just take that 3,100 times $7, that's over 20 grand right there that we saved by having this spreader and doing it ourselves this year. So yeah, that's really good. And that does not take into account the added savings from the fertilizer cost, because I think we bought our fertilizer for somewhere in the neighborhood of $50 to $60 a ton cheaper than what it would have cost us buying it from the local retailer and having them spread it. So I don't know how if that's the same. I'm sure it's not the same for the lime. That would have probably cost the same, but for however many tons of fertilizer we spread, which had to be close to 200, maybe not quite that much. Yeah, close to 200 by the time you figure in the wheat fertilizer and everything. Maybe even a little more. You throw another $50, that's another, what, 10 grand there? So, you know, we saved over $30,000 in year one by buying this spreader. That's going to pay for it pretty quick. All right, I got the heavy residue off the back here. That's what I wanted to get off. Basically, I don't want that fertilizer going directly down the drain. And this way it will run down our driveway and go through the grass and the filter strip and the waterway all the way back to the pond where everything will settle out, and yeah, it gives it some time to filter it rather than drain it. All right, I am set up here, power washer. We're gonna wash this thing and get her cleaned up good. So I ordered some salt neutralizer stuff. It's not here yet, so we're gonna get the dirt off, but we might have to get it back out and wash it again later. And then when we're done with that, I want to spray everything down with some fluid film and try and protect it a little bit, but we'll see what we do here. Conditions have taken a bit of a turn for the worse. It's raining, but our spreader's cleaner. Oh man, we got a lot of mud off the undercarriage and stuff that's there. I don't know if we're done cleaning it, but we're done for today. I'm gonna pull it into the barn here, and then we'll see about cleaning our concrete off a little bit. But yeah, it's actively raining now. Well, the waterproof jacket isn't too bad. Of course, I had another coat on under that, I guess. But time for a new set of pants, it would appear. The knees got soaked, the thigh up here. Oh well, we'll get to it. So anyway, it's relatively clean. Like I said, I bought some salt neutralizer wash that the fertilizer, the potash, is a salt, and so that's what corrodes things. That's what makes things rust and look like crap. And the stainless box, all the silver stuff, isn't going to be a problem, or shouldn't be a problem really, but things like that, and all the black in the frame, and these motors, and the bottoms of these spinners, and all that stuff will rust. And I want to try and neutralize that as best we can, and then spray all of those components with some fluid film that should help keep the water away from it so that it might not rust. But like you can see the bottom of these motors here, like they get pelted with the pellets or the stuff coming off the spinners, and it wears the paint off, and they've already rusted. So we'll prevent it from getting worse, at least, and prolong the life of this as much as possible. Well, what was shaping up to be a busy day turned into a busy morning, and now it's raining. So I'm going home to eat lunch, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do here this afternoon. Got back from eating some lunch, just looking over our spreader. It looks pretty decent. Like I said, we'll hit it with some soapy stuff here when we get it. Maybe give it a brush down, and should be good to go. So, oh, I did want to. We might take this screen off of here. There's a oil cooler behind there, like a radiator, and it's sort of hard to wash it out and rinse it with that screen on there. So we might take that off so we can get in there and flush that out really good too. It's sort of hard to see, but definitely dirty in there yet. So, in the lime and the dust that kind of accumulates on there, it was sort of hard to get it washed out. We never had any trouble with the oil getting hot, but just something I want to keep an eye on. Now, back down here to the seed warehouse. Let's keep hanging some insulation. I got that last one put in on the bottom down there, and I think we're going to work down this side here, try and get the rest of these filled in, or what we can. And then really we can start hanging some more steel, or getting ready to anytime. That's something I'm going to need some help with, probably. So from, Brock, who I have not heard from in like a week. I don't know what he's got going on, but he hasn't felt like coming to work, probably because he knows that instead of driving a tractor, he's going to have to drive a power washer. But it is that time of year, so we'll see. He'll be around eventually, I'm sure. And we'll start cleaning equipment, but at the same time, working down here and getting everything done that we need to do. There's never a shortage of things to do. Sometimes you don't have a good opportunity to get a lot done, but there's always things to do. That electric staple gun sure makes this job a whole heck of a lot easier. We've gone through a lot of staples. I'm glad I don't have to squeeze the trigger on one all the time. I'm about out. Used a whole box. How many was in here? 1,000? 5,000 staples. Whew, that's a lot. Gonna need another box. We can get one more up there anyway. Of course, a cordless one would be better, but we managed. This one works good. We got this, 20 years ago. I think my dad bought it for my mom when we were doing like homecoming floats in school, that kind of stuff. Probably 30 years ago. It works. Well, I got 2 runs up on this side and that one over there. I'm out of staples. I have to run to town and grab another box. It's progress. It's gonna make it dark in here until we get the steel hung up. And I'm guessing it's going to take a while to get all the steel up, so, oh well. Better get my lights coming, get some new lights, or more lights put up. So our local hardware store here has gotten sold new owners in the last few months. And the previous owner had only been there for, maybe 5 years, something like that. And made a lot of changes, added stuff on. They got lumber and stuff now. The guy that owned it before that had owned it forever, as long as I can remember. And so it was nice to get somebody younger in there the first time it sold and, update a few things, but most of it stayed the same except for they added some more space and stuff. Well, now the new owners are in there and nothing is where it has been for 40 years. So I knew exactly where to go to find staple gun staples before, but they are in the opposite corner of the store now, which was like, what are we doing here? So I had to have somebody help me. So while in town here, I decided I better stop by the post office and check my P.O. box that I check about once every 2 weeks. And most of it was junk mail. I did get a advertisement from some company trying to sell me auger flighting, which we don't buy very often, so not a problem. However, I got this big envelope. this big, huge envelope. It didn't fit in the box, and it is from Outback Toys. Now you can see that. Got my P.O. box on there, which, by the way, if you want to send me stuff, there's the P.O. box. Outback Toys from Pennsylvania. Did one of you guys do this? I did not order anything from Outback Toys, even though I got this thank you for your order card and a packing slip. Is this some kind of cruel joke you guys are doing to me? I don't know what this is. What's going on here? You guys think this is going to go somewhere? Like, where you're going to see it? Or what? I don't know. By the time I got back here with my staples, the sun has come out, kind of. Anyway, it's windy. It's still cold, but at least it's not raining anymore. All right. Got 4 up there. We're going to try and get 2 more. Maybe 3 more. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, you guys remember yesterday when I was telling you about the Border View Farms merchandise you can get over at farmfocus.com or borderviewfarms.com and click on the shop link, or just click the link in the description. We've got a sale going on right now. It started today. I just finally got the code here. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I figured I better tell you guys for tomorrow's purposes. But early 20. Use the code early 20, and you will get 20% off your order. This runs for 4 days. It started today. Well, it runs for 5 days. Today through the 24th. So if you need yourself a Border View Farms hoodie, this one's Golden Harvest one, not a Border View Farms one. This is my shirt. Oh yeah, I got my green Border View Farms logo shirt on. Shirts, hats, stocking hats, the Best RX shirts, all that stuff is available over on Farm Focus website. 20% off, code early20. I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but judging by the amount of dust floating in the air in the sunlight, I'm gonna need to build me an air filter just to suck air in here and clean it. I have been wearing a mask when I'm working with the insulation, but I generally take it off as soon as I come off the lift. And then it's probably been 15 minutes since I handled one of these. I've been scrolling through Facebook and checking my emails and codes, and it's still just hanging in there. Look at that. Look at that. Whew. Yeah. It's cheaper to do the fiberglass myself than it was to spray foam it. Cost us third of as much. Until I get cancer. It's a joke, honey. It's a joke. She's not going to like that one. Don't worry. I won't ever get cancer because that would require going to a doctor for them to tell you that you have cancer. And, well, that ain't happening. So, I'll be fine. Progress, look at that. So that one there, the third one up, is the one with my conduit in it. So we're gonna leave that just like we left that one. The bottom one there, right above the steel, I could try and stuff a piece in there. However, when I got my insulation last year, the place that I bought it from had it mixed up the faced and unfaced, or craft faced versus unfaced. They had these packets all in the same bin or bay where they stored this. And so I have a bunch of unfaced stuff that doesn't have the paper backing on it, and I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. And I thought, well, that side there where I got the steel that'll hold one side of it up, I might be able to just stuff it in there right before we put the steel up on the top half and use some of it there. So like I got 3 rolls of that here. This one is unfaced, that one's craft faced, that one's craft faced, that one's unfaced, and that one is unfaced. So I've got 3 times 6, that's 18 plus 3. I got 21 rolls of unfaced insulation that I got to try and use it up. I don't know if I can take it back. I bought this stuff a year ago, so I don't know if I can really take it back and be like, hey, you guys screwed up. What are they gonna? They're not gonna believe me. So that might be a spot where I could use up 3 rolls there. I'm using it in this bottom one along the edge there after we put the board in, and we did on the other side. That used up some of it. I'm going to use it in those narrow ones in the peak up there, and so we'll use some of it. I don't know if I can use all of it. I might have to try and, I don't know, we'll see what we can do, but at least it'll give me a spot to use some of it up. Whew, look at it now. All the dust hanging in the air since I've been putting that stuff up there. Okay, well, I'm gonna call it there for today. Working down here. That's good, I feel better about it. It's gotta help hold some heat in. I'm waiting for a frosty morning so I can look out from my house and see the difference in the roof outside. When I put that foam in that's fallen down, you could see it very, very easily where I had the insulation and where I didn't. And then those 4 rows that I had put in last year showed up too. So I expect that you'll see a half difference, and probably that one strip, that one strip right down the middle there will show up. Every little bit helps. We'll get there. I suppose, since I opened these doors this morning to get my spreader out, I ought to close them before I go home. Or not. Started to do it, and Phil was over here starting the generator up. He's moving grain. Where's the generator? He said leave it open. He wants to put stuff in there tonight. Okay, so I'll let him take care of it. Anyway, I'm going home. Thanks for watching. We're to that time of year. We're not quite done with field work yet, but we're about done. We're getting close, and it's rainy, and there's just not a lot going on outside of that. We need to start getting some stuff cleaned up, but I mean, we started that today. I'm waiting on that chemical to come, so I leave closer to 5 o'clock now through the winter than normal. So anyway, tomorrow looks like a crappy day. It's supposed to snow. I may or may not make a video. I'll probably spend a little time in the seed warehouse. I have a project at church that I need to work on. We've been trying to update some lighting and replace some of the old incandescent fixtures with some nice LED panel lights in the hallways and some of the rooms and stuff. I bought a whole bunch of them for the church back in January and have not yet had a chance to go install them. So maybe I'll go work on that tomorrow for a little bit and try and get some other things done that I need to. Might be a seed selling day. I tried texting a guy today to see if he'd be around, but he didn't answer. So anyway, I might not make a video tomorrow. That's what I'm telling you. So we'll see when we see you. Don't forget to head on over to Farm Focus. Grab your stuff you need there. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Appreciate it. See you guys.